Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to the shed. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing great. My day was garbage. So to update you, for anybody who hasn't watched for a long time or isn't aware, my job, not my job, but the agency that I work for is a school agency. We were called a regional education service agency. And this year, my state legislators decided to dismantle us, essentially, defund us and dismantle us. They decided that the $3 million they were spending a year for the 8 service agencies around the state was just not worth it. And in their eyes, we were just bureaucratic oversight, so they got rid of us. Now, it's really strange because the way that we were set up, there was a whole bunch of different funding sources. It wasn't just that $3 million a year because that's not nearly enough to cover the whole state. So my job was funded through a different set of funds, and lots of other people's jobs in the building were funded through a different set of funds. And well, whatever. The legislators decided to dissolve us, but they put into place an idea that we could become something greater, become a cooperative, which would mean that different school districts would use us and help us mold products and services for them, and then they could join our cooperative. The problem is none of that stuff is in place. Nobody knows how that's going to work. And so right now, we don't know what's going to happen. As of June 30th of this year, we're no longer in the state law, but we are allowed to continue existing for a year, assuming we can find funds. And well, we thought we had funds to last for the next year. Apparently we don't, because today at work, a whole bunch of people got RIF letters, reduction in force letters, essentially layoff letters that say, unless something happens, you're not going to have a job after June 30th. A whole bunch of people. And that sucks, right? Unfortunately, the people that are going to be put out are our school improvement staff, which their focus in life was to help underperforming schools. And those underperforming schools don't have the funds to get those services on their own. So all of the money that the state was spending was to help underperforming schools. And if we turn into something else, if we are capable of figuring out a way to turn ourselves into this cooperative situation, I don't know who's going to be left in the building. You know, we've had 3 or 4 people already move on, find other jobs and leave, or just leave. Now this whole team of people, plus a few others, I mean, it's like, what's going to be left, you know? And my state is still nowhere near passing a budget. This happened last year, and they went into special session and all that stuff, and then they passed like a, whatever it's called when they just say, well, we use last year's budget. Well, this year though, the House and Senate both agreed to a budget, and the governor vetoed it. And of course, he vetoed it without enough time left in the legislative session for them to overrule his veto. So we have no budget, and now he's fighting for his budget, which makes 0 sense to most people in this state. Including the lawmakers, and so they keep going through special sessions, and they keep burning more state funds to try and come up with a way to save state funds, and it's completely freaking ridiculous. And so all of this stuff is balanced on, are we even going to have a budget this year? We don't know. They passed a furlough bill. They could furlough the entire state come July 1st. We don't know what's going to happen. All we know is we have a year to figure out what we're going to do if we can afford to figure out how to pay our salaries. And my job is, as IT, we are paid by the department, the state's Department of Education. And they can't hire us. They're overstaffed already. So that money that they paid my agency to pay for my salary and the other guys that I work with, we don't know if that money is going to be available because they don't have a budget either. They know they're going to get a cut. We know that. Everybody's getting cuts. It's a disaster. You know, and I've worked a lot of jobs with high turnover. I've worked a lot of jobs that I've left. I've worked jobs that I've been fired from. I've had to say goodbye to people before. It's not not a new thing, but a complete dismantling, not because of anything that the employees have done, not because there's not a need for our service, but it's just a complete dismantling with no consideration for our well-being or lives is a freaking disaster. I feel so bad for everybody that I work with. I'll be okay. I have tons of opportunity, and I'm not remotely worried about paying the bills, But I'm worried about everybody that I work with. The education industry is what they know, and if there's not funding to find space in the education industry, where do you go from there? Like, do you just work at Walmart or something? It's miserable. It was such a gloomy damn day, and it's so beautiful outside. I rode the bike today. It's a gorgeous day, and just in that building, it was just frustration and sadness. And what do we do? Where do we go from here? I don't know. I really don't. But who knows? Maybe I have a job. Maybe I don't. I have this. I have you to talk to about it, and that's most important to me because my mental health is way more important to me than my financial health. That being said, I definitely don't like being poor, and I'm not ever going to be destitute, but being mentally prepared to take on challenges like this is way more important to me than having money to throw away. So, yeah, thanks for listening. Yesterday's episode was dark on... I screwed up. This is a different lens. This is the lens that I bought a while ago. I think I showed it on the show. This is the lens that I use for shooting the gaming channel because this is a really wide aperture lens. And when I set it up, I forgot to adjust the brightness and contrast settings and probably some of the filter settings in the camera for this lighting and this lens. And I just started shooting, and I didn't, on the monitor here, it's this big. When it's that far away, it just looks like normal. But when it ran, I could have probably done some color correction to it to bring it out, but I was like, we'll leave it and see if anybody comments. And of course, everybody commented. Hey, what's wrong with today's video? Did the light bulb go out? No, I'm just an idiot. So hopefully today looks better. I am still using that lens. I'm going to try it for a little while just because I'm tired of switching lenses back and forth. So this one can stay on the camera for a while and do all my video shoots. And, we'll see what happens. But, yeah. I'm going to go play games with my friends for a little while, and then I'm going to watch the Penguins play tonight, and I'm going to try to forget that the place I've called home for the past 7 years is being dismantled. It sucks. So thank you for watching, as always. Thank you for liking and commenting and subscribing and sending amazing postcards. If you want to get in on the postcard game, the address is below. Send me a postcard of wherever you are in the world so that I can start building out my postcard mural. So I will see you guys again tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from Wikipedia is bratwurst pork. Bratwurst, also known as a brat in American English, is a sausage usually composed of veal, pork, or beef. The name is derived from Old High German bratwurst, from brat, which is finely chopped meat, and wurst, or sausage. So it can be, yes, you can get all beef, you can get all pork, you can get a mix. Just to answer your question. And you should always pre-cook them in beer and then grill them, just so you know.